Okay, ladies and gentlemen, take two of game two of World Elite versus OMG here in the semi-finals of the IEM Shanghai. And well, we've had some interesting issues, obviously. And if you guys have been watching the chat, you've been keeping up to date on what's going on. Basically, more power issues, more computer issues over at the venue. The World Elite had their computers rebooted, and we are finally ready to go. So this obviously is, we had a remake of Game 1. We're going to have a remake of Game 2 because what series would be complete without it? And we're back in the lobby again. So I think there might have been an issue where someone has made a mistake or picked the wrong champion. We'll try and keep you up to date with that one. Make sure that everyone is sort of in here. So this is I guess this is fairly common with these events as well, with these live events. Unfortunately, probably not as smooth as we would have liked to have seen. But we're going to go again. We're going to back into Champion Select, and as is often the case, if a team bans a champion in the remake that's already been sort of picked, if they don't remember, we need to redo it again. So I think we might see the same picks and bans as well, which would have been recorded by the match officials, and we're going to see fairly similar lineups here. So, looking at the start of last game, the way that, Messiah was shoved in under his tower, you did say, Jack, of course, that this was okay for Messiah. He was all right with that. Are we going to see much of a difference now that both teams have an idea of how those first 5 minutes are going to play out?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question, and we'll see whether there's any upsets as to how it started out. I think Chen is probably, going to be a bit better off because he's going to have a bit of an appreciation for that early rise damage. And I think that's a bit sad for Team OMG. It's unfortunate, to say the least.
Yeah, that's right, and they had that first blood, and that was quite cleanly taken as well. The flash forward auto attack into overload from the rise, picking up the kill there. So. Yeah, I guess Xiaomei is going to be a little bit careful. But that being said, maybe Xiaomei wants that. We know that when World League give first blood, they tend to win. So we might even see him just feed and walk right up to him and to try and keep that tradition intact. But it's going to be the same champions picked here, guys. We're going to be into the game very, very shortly again. So, we are going to see, Lovely and Troll. We're trying to influence the game as much as they could early on. We were seeing Troll head towards the bot lane. As much as I hate to try and refer back to the game that was and the game that will not be, that's kind of all the information we have to go on at the moment. What was your, obviously you had a little bit of a look at that, how the Zyra Ezreal, how the bot lane was going. Could you have picked any one duo to have been in the lead last game?
I think there was definitely a lot of, as I was saying, a lot of pressure coming out from Wei Xiao and just the Team W, with the Zyra and the Ezreal, just kind of, as I was saying, they're uncatchable. And that meant that they really had the lane presence there. And so it meant that early game damage from both Twitch and Thresh wasn't really being capitalized on. So they definitely were winning out that lane in terms of just having control of it at that point. I can't remember the actual creep score though, so I can't comment on that.
No, that's all right. I guess, if of the only other full game that we've had before this one was Royal versus IG, and that was very, very interesting. Of course, it was it was 1-2. I think that was the way it went, and very, very interesting. The second game was one where Royal actually got the win. They picked up that second game, and they had very interesting. They used that Kassadin in that game. I'll refer back to that now. There's this strange little Kassadin versus Zed matchup, and we are seeing Kassadin a little bit, sort of every now and then. As far as I know, I generally expect it as a counter pick to, it's often a counter pick in draft or in ranked. What are your thoughts on Kassadin at this level?
Well, everyone knows that Kassadin has a very weak early game. I mean, you need to pad that out, but once you actually get past that point, you're a real boon to your team. You're just going to ignore all the kind of CC that might be coming out, and you can just get in the back line if you need to, or you can just poke from the front, and you've got a lot of CC. So not only, the silence is obviously the most clear one, but the W that comes out from Kassadin slows and damages quite significantly, and it's absurd damage if you're ahead, the amount of burst potential Kassadin brings. So Kassadin's probably one of the most hyper mobile, hyper AP carries that are out there. And you just have to be very careful not to let him get to that point. But it's about not first picking him and actually seeing what you're going to be versing first, because you don't want to first pick Kassadin.
All right, so let's live in the now. I'm going to drop back 15 seconds from live here, so we're going to make sure we're sort of in time with our lovely cameraman who's stricken down by a case of having no voice, which is very unfortunate. Obviously, yesterday showed us some very, very intense games, so going to have a little bit of a pause here. So wait till they get sorted out, and I'll try and... yeah, that's pretty standard having those pauses early on in the game. So both teams are just going to make sure that they are good to go. And make sure that obviously, no issues with the lag. And it's a very similar arrangement as we saw last time as well. Yeah, fairly defensive wards being placed as well. When they're not extending too far for those wards and they just want to watch those, common avenues of approach. That's generally sort of what they would do. So we'll hopefully be sort of up to what happens when they pause the game as well. We can get a bit of dilation in game time, which can cause us to get somewhat out of sync. So I'm going to wait for my game to catch up to where it was paused, and then I'll go back 15 seconds. So Go Gadget might be a little bit ahead of me, but that's fine. But so far, nothing really to note here. Xiaomei sort of has made his way straight at the top lane though. So I'm going to go back 15 seconds from a minute 25. That should be a minute 10 now. So ping's going down over sort of near over Messiah there. He's been spotted by a water, and it's very defensive arrangement here. Very similar to what we saw last time, Jack.
Yeah, it's interesting to see though that Messiah, like you've got a ward right where Team OMG is standing, but it's not actually the best place for Messiah to stand. Obviously, he's going to be getting his. Well, I'm not sure. He rushed his E the first time, so he may not be scouting with his ball. But yeah, it's kind of a risky thing for Messiah to pull there. I mean, obviously they come through lane and just bully him, but that hasn't happened. So nothing of too much interest has happened here. It's all easy laning.
Okay, well, early on, Messiah's being fairly aggressive on the cool. Already chunked down a good 25% of that health, and we're obviously seeing red buff being taken away by Troll. And of course, Lovely's doing the same, so no level 1 shenanigans here. Xiaomei is running at the tower. So, okay, they're trying to simulate the first blood being given away. Just gonna make sure Going does get that one. And I guess that was the only legitimate kill of that last game. So, all's well in the world, and I guess Xiaomei still had to give himself up, but that's the way the cookie crumbles here. Everything else looks to be going fairly good, and we'll hopefully hope that stays that way. Cool now, looking fairly healthy after the initial sort of damage he was taking from Messiah, and is really shoving that lane. I guess you kind of resign yourself to it when you play Lissandra, that if you want to do damage, you need to push the lane a bit.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note that Messiah actually decided to take his Q this time. Decided to pick up the ball because he ran E the first time and he lost a lot of the trade potential and even CS early. But now he's reconsidered and is no longer looking for defense through the shield. It's gone for the ball just to do a bit of trading with Cool.
Alright, so Troll now is just made his way towards the top lane there and really want to show his face. So again, Gogoing's got those few levels on top of Xiaomei doing a lot of damage, so huge advantage for him early on. And in the bot lane as well, it's a bit of a push and shove fest. Fizz getting plenty of plants down to harass out. Both looking fairly healthy, and in terms of CS as well, Going is destroying Xiaomei, of course, with that first kill. And now he's going to be able to harass a lot better. So, good guy, Xiaomei, running straight into that tower. He probably wants to keep the World Elite tradition intact as well. Lovely, and it's just positioned around the mid lane here. Might consider something. But I think Messiah looking fairly comfortable right now. And obviously, there's a fair bit of ward coverage, so may have been spotted out. The ping is going down from OMG on the mid lane, though. Lovely wants to get that hook in. Does manage to duel. I think there was a hit, but Messiah going to be able to flash out of that one, taking a heck of a lot of damage here, Jack.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not something he wants to have down against, because he won't have it up for the level 6 engage that's going to come out from Cool here when he gets his ult. So I think he's going to have to be very careful.
Oh, wow, son! Fantastic work, takes down Fizz. Now, Weijia having to pull right out of there. Sun go low. Sorry, we saw that eventuate in the bot lane there. And that was always going to happen when you've got that Thresh with ridiculous all-in potential early on in the game. So, sorry we weren't quite able to catch that one for you. So, that's 2 kills already going over to OMG, though. A bit of 1100 gold lead, which is pretty much what you'd expect at this stage. Troll, being fairly brazen, is walking into the jungle of OMG. Just trying to scope things out now. We've seen Cool head back to base. Obviously, give the lane a good shove. And obviously, he's behind as well. Something we need to know. When you are shoving that wave to try and harass, you have to give up a few CS. Oh, wow, Weixiao, sorry, trying to arcane shift away. The flash in from San. We have had the barrier baited out of Weixiao. The expunge almost enough to finish the job, but Weixiao going to head home with 85 health. what an aggressive bot lane that's turned out to be so far.
Yeah, no doubt. It's I think they've figured out where they went wrong in the first half, and they've and that's always the thing. Like even at this point, like even with these pros, they really, the element of surprise coming from certain matchups can really get you. So that's something that they've been able to avoid in this remake, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. You know, Fizz he wasn't in lane at the time anyway, so it was actually Weixiao on his own. He still felt confident to be able to, you know, escape, you know, the all-in with the arcane shift. But once you jump onto Fizz as Zyra, so once you jump onto Weixiao, should I say, which is hard to do in itself, but there is no assistance that Fizz can really give if your AD carry sort of gets mauled. So I'll just see how that eventuates. Weixiao obviously has the kit to keep himself out of trouble. Troll going to take away the race as well, and a lot of shove here in this mid lane, and you know, Cool. We saw going take Lysandra top lane last time. It looks like Cool, you know, is happy with his lack of range, and he's using that Q to try and CS as well as harass quite heavily onto Messiah. But Messiah looking pretty good as well. Double Doran's coming out for Cool. We've got the Chalice on Messiah.
Yeah, it's been a fairly casual lane, top lane though. Like, you know, after that, obviously, the first blood there coming out. It's not much happening so far. So I think, you know, you won't have Shen at level 6 before Cool hits level 6, obviously. But once he does get there, it's going to be a lot of turnaround potential for any sort of burst that may come out of Cool. So that's important to keep in mind.
Alright, the bot lane, Loveland's just got himself set up in the bush there. See, totally unaware of his presence right now, standing on that pink ward. Gonna try and shove the wave and might. See if we can get a dredge line out of there. No, he's just gonna walk out and show himself, so orderly. Here we go, gonna show the hand to them now. Troll taking away the race yet again. Cool. Little bit of damage on him there from the QW combo out of Messiah. But yeah, the top lane, as you said, heavily, you know, quiet the farm lane. And we do see here the guy going, knows that the lane was a little bit pushed, and he's actually opted to go for his double golems as well. So doesn't want to get caught out and sort of taken down now. So we have seen Xiaomei, he has hit that level 6, so he is caught up to going at the moment. But in terms of CS as well, has, excuse me, has managed to even the score, which is a pretty good effort really, considering how things started off. I think it was 20 CS to 1 CS, so done well in that lane. There's also, looks like we're going to see some early MR itemization here for Xiaomei.
Yeah, well, once you get past that just very early game damage from Rise, he's got a bit of a kind of store point in the meantime. Like you've got early game damage coming out, and you've got very strong late game kind of tanking damage coming out, but in the mid game, Rise isn't quite as strong. So now that they've reached almost that point, it's going to be a bit more even sides, and Shen be happy to trade, I'm sure.
Alright, well, Shen obviously now has a bit of that MR, so he can stand up a little bit towards the damage, especially now where, you know, the investment from Rise is, you know, into that tier and Catalyst, which obviously, you know, the mana is going to give him a little bit of a spike in damage. It's not going to overall, you know, improve his trading in a great amount. It's more just building up those items. So it looked like that Troll wanted to go for a bit of a play in the top lane here, but has had to back away. So no real ganks that have happened yet. Lovely clearing out the pink ward there on the side of World League near their red buff. Messiah returned to lane. He's got himself a finished Codex in the bot lane. This is where it's all happening. San and Pomelo are all over it there. We just saw Fizz drop, and Weixiao had to back away as well. So, you know, it looks like, you know, in the absence of the ability to catch out that Ezreal, they're quite happy to go for kills on Zyra.
Yeah, well, a bit of an overextension. You really do have to respect that Thresh, particularly when they've got a lane advantage. I mean, Twitch is just such a pain when he starts stacking those auto attacks, and Thresh is ideal for locking down champions and giving that ability. So, it's a very strong lane now that they're not behind.
Alright, so the death sentence there coming out, and Weixiao managing to avoid that one. Being down near the race area from OMG. Nothing going to be taking away the golems here as well in the mid lane. So, you know, fairly quiet in the mid lane. The bot lane's where a lot of the action's been happening, and it's all coming up trumps right now for OMG. 2 kills this time, and you know, Big Pomelo's not a kill stealer. He's no Fizz. 2 kills now over on Twitch Patrol. Looks like he wants to make a play in this bot lane. Gonna walk straight on in. This is definitely something he wants to make happen here. Gonna try and escape. Oh, Pomelo caught up in a cocoon here. He's gonna take a Mystic Shot as well. The box is gonna come up. Throw the Dark Passage out for a bit of vision, and San replying with some damage of his own. You see a Q from Troll, and nice. Troll managing to secure that kill against Big Pomelo. And I mean, that was pretty much bound to happen. Troll walks straight into lane, but in the top lane as well. Oh, going, jump straight onto Xiaomei, of course, with the help of Lovelin. Lovelin takes a little bit of tower damage, but those two are looking okay. So whenever World Elite look like they're trying to make an advantage happen, OMG are elsewhere to capitalize, and World Elite going to try and take a dragon here.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got a lot of people out of position at the moment. The top lane is going to go down, and that's not going to be ideal, to say the least. But, you know, a dragon trade for a pretty solid objective, it's hard to work out whether that's a good thing or a bad thing at this point.
Well, I mean, you know, no one wants to lose those early game towers, but if World Elite can pick up a dragon as well, at least monetarily speaking, they're not too far behind the 8-ball now. So Messiah and Cool both got their blue buffs. Cool putting a lot of pressure onto this tower, and he's really laying the groundwork for OMG to take that objective a lot easier later on.
And Xiaomei should have a bit of a safer lane now that he's able to hopefully keep it around his second tier tower.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's going to be looking to try and freeze it, and with that mid tower still up for now, I mean, I see you know, Messiah heading back, so that might not last for too much longer. You know, you can have a little bit more peace of mind. There's also a pink ward there near the blue bar bush, so you know, Xiaomei's going to have a little bit more of an idea of what's going on. Of course, you know, Stand United is now available. So I have to see if, you know, Xiaomei can actually make some plays off that as well. I feel like it's going to be happening in the bot lane here, but look at this going. And Cool, both working on this mid tower here. Loveling was positioned around the side just in case any shenanigans were to come of that. But OMG, their objective focus has been good so far, so they've got the top and mid outer turrets down. World Elite struggling to really find a good answer, or at least a you know, a definitive answer to what OMG have put on the table so far.
Yeah, well, there's one tower you don't want to lose. It's the mid lane tower, and there's a few reasons for that. Obviously, you know, you want your mid laner to feel safe in that lane. Like the mid lane is the shortest lane, and it has its advantages, but it means that it's quite easy for it to get.
Messiah gets pretty well chunked down there, reducing the Frozen Tomb. Standard United is sort of drawn out there, and a great save onto Messiah. Oh, I tell you what, Cool wanted to go straight in on that one. The Frozen Tomb came down, and Messiah getting away with just a little bit of health, using that command protect as well to its fullest extent, but drawing that ult sort of you know, out of Xiaomei. Obviously not going to be giving up any key objectives by leaving the lane. That ult is now unavailable for a fairly extended period of time. It's a 200-second cooldown at this point, and World Elite are going to be without that tool.
Yeah, well, they may have survived there. Messiah may have survived there with the help of Xiaomei, but he did not win that trade. No, not at all. So.
Wow, a lot of damage going to Sun here in the bot lane. Weishia going a bit aggressive. Sees that Pomelo is sort of out of the lane, trying to take this advantage, trying to take this opportunity, should I say, to put some free damage down on Twitch there. But he's going to heal that one straight back up, and Pomelo going to return to the lane. Might throw a death sentence out as he does. Thought about it. I know he thought about it now, but look at this. OMG going to take away the blue buff here. So that is a blue buff that Messiah does not have. Troll is, you know, quizzically pinging over towards the blue buff side of OMG, saying we can go for this. Might be a little bit dangerous now, though. Messiah and Troll look like they are going to head for it, but I think OMG can conject as to the positioning here of World Elite. They might try and set up a little bit of an ambush here on the Loveland. Loveland walks straight into the cocoon. Wow, the shockwave as well. He gets chunked down. We see a flash in the, well, the death charge comes out, but yeah, there's not much that's going to save him there. So World Elite, you know, knew that OMG would be aware of their attempts to steal the buff. We're going to see a lot of players position themselves around the blue buff here. They know how important it is to Messiah to obtain that good cocoon onto Cool there. Command attack as well for a bit of extra damage. Glacial Path comes out from Cool as well. Wow, Xiao got a little bit low, burning that barrier, and he's going to have to flash it over the wall. Xiao got caught out from the rest of his team there. You know, World Elite sort of were heading towards the mid lane, and Xiao got caught out towards the bottom side of the dragon pit, sorry. But this is, you know, at the end of the day, Messiah is without that blue buff. Yes, has that Athene's Unholy Grail. But, you know, despite the little bit that it contributes to, you know, your sustainability in terms of mana, if Messiah wants to, you know, farm and push lanes, you're going to have a little bit of difficulty there to do that without the blue buff.
Yeah, you simply cannot underrate just how useful that 40% CDR with the both the Athenes and the blue buff is. I mean, you know, Athenes does give a fair bit of mana sustain, but that blue buff with the 40% on Orianna is just amazing for just harassing and like kind of maneuvering that ball into positions that you want at a moment's notice.
Alright, Troll, considering a bit of bot lane work here. Obviously was revealed trying to take out that ward that OMG cleverly had placed in that bush. So Troll not going to be able to make much of a play here. Of course, Dragon is not available There's no chance, obviously, for World League to take that one away either. So Troll's just going to go for a bit of a traipse up the river. See if you can spot out some wards here. And, you know, Messiah getting bullied by Cool, and we can see that mana pool is heavily depleted on Orianna. Troll here can see that Cool's made some positioning. Going to use that glacial path to try and get out. Messiah fairly well anticipated. We're going to see the shockwave as well. Troll going to try and get on there for the execute. And a frozen tomb coming out on no one in particular by the looks of things. Not really sure what happened there. It was a repel out of it. Now a lot of pings going down over mid lane. We're going to see the distance used by Messiah, because the dredge line could be coming in very quickly. Oh no! The flash coming out from going as well. Messiah's going to drop down. Troll's in a little bit of trouble as well. Going to get hooked in with the dredge line. Glacial path in as well. So much aggression here. Troll has absolutely no health left. That's like 100 health, so not looking too good at there. But going the flash rune prison was a good one there. And OMG are just bullying World Elite off of every objective here. Wei Xiao goes super low on the bot lane. We're going to see Stand United drawn out again from Xiaomei just to save Wei Xiao from losing that trade to Twitch. Very close to going down. They had the big, you know, the crossbones over his head. And he's going to get away with that one. But as I was saying, OMG just bullying World Elite all around the map.
Yeah, they've really got the pressure here. They've got the lane control and they've got the map control. And it's particularly worth noting just how many pink wards are coming out to deny vision. So that's something they're really looking to counter with what happened in the first game in regards to just great vision coming out from both teams.
Well, Troll's going to get caught. He's going to drop very quickly. We saw the rune prison and the repel out. But the depth charge is going to hit him as well. And OMG is all there to clean up the mess. And that is 3 kills now going over towards going. Messiah trying to make something happen there. Really not much he could do at all. So OMG in position in that bot lane. You know, and we knew they were valuing that turret. We could see the pings down on it as well. Obviously, it is the last outer turret left for World Elite right now. So we're going to see a fair bit of positioning. We're going to see a dragon taken away from OMG as well. Had that one fairly well, pretty well on top of that one. But I think after that, they might try and make a play for this bottom outer turret. Troll obviously down. He's now back up. Probably some poor positioning from Troll. They got himself completely caught out. A bit of a role reversal as what we saw from Messiah and Troll as they jumped on top of Lovely and early on near the blue buff. Bit of role reversal there. Alright, now we see that the glacial path goes out onto Xiaomei in that top lane in the bush. The Messiah wants a bit of this as well though. Shockwave going to be used again. It's a very defensive glacial tomb they used on Lissandra, but she's not going to be able to get out of that one. So World League going to pick up another kill there. Going and Lovely roaming towards the top side here. Try and make something happen. Still waiting a little bit. Messiah and Xiaomei are sitting there. So going Lovely making their way up. This might be a straight 2v2. They want this tower. They want it bad, but we're going to see Going come around the back. Nice stretch line into Messiah. He's going to get caught up as well as the Riptide comes out. Depth charge does go on, if I'm not mistaken. The Xiaomei Messiah's trying to take refuge under the tower, trying not to do any attacking at all. But no, Going is going to be able to get the rune prison down on him. And Messiah having a rough time in this game, 2-2. And, you know, the lane was sort of pretty well over, you know, about 8 minutes ago. And it was struggling a lot, was Messiah, to sort of make any plays over the map. All of OMG's outer turrets are still standing. And World Elite only have the one left, and that's getting pressured very heavily. Now, Jack, are you there, mate? I've passed you before. Just make sure you're here. Oh, those, I'll just take it. Oh, wait.
Yep, I am here.
Cool. Yeah, so, you know, OMG now, as I said, they're really bullying, doing a lot of bullying happening, you know, over towards World Elite in this game. And we already see that Rod of Ages coming up for Going. And, you know, 80-minute Rod of Ages, that's pretty much what you'd expect. But he's 4-0-1. And we know, Jack, that he's going to be so terrifying later on in the game.
Yeah, he's moved past that potentially weak kind of mid-early game, and he's just rolling through it, man. It's just gonna be keep on going. It's you can't stop the rise train once it's there's no brakes on it.
See, Going gonna keep on going. Xiaomei heading top, just trying to get some farm here as well. And if we look at the items now, we take a chance to do it. We see the Blade of the Ruined King has been picked up for Twitch there. And it looks like he's working maybe towards a Infinity Edge as well. On the side of Wei Xiao, he's got the Glacial Shroud as well as that Sheen. So trying to get his Iceborne Gauntlet down fairly early on as well. Oh, Messiah caught out again. Gonna pop over near that red buff as well. OMG just roaming. This is the gang squad, by the way. This is pretty much exactly how it works. We're seeing a dredge line come in, a lot of AoE. Oh, the dredge line hits onto Fizzif as well. He's gonna flash out of that one. We'll see Essence Flux being thrown out there by Wei Xiao, but we'll do a lot of damage. And OMG now really just putting a lot of pressure all over the map, and they are roaming in this little squad. This is what we're used to seeing from them now, and it's not so much an issue now because they have such an advantage. They have these towers, you know, and World Elite are struggling to try and find some breathing space even to farm, let alone to try and take some objectives back of their own.
Well, the amount of CC that OMG have here is just godly, terrifying, really. Every single person on their team, I mean, obviously Nautilus is a CC god, excluding really Twitch apart from his W, has very strong CC. So, you know, when you've got these kind of very strong engaged teams and you get an advantage, you know, what can you do against it? That's the question, I guess, and I'm sure W is struggling for an answer as well.
That's right, they're trying to gain some breathing space, get a bit more gold in the pocket as well. You know, that blue Ezreal on Wei Xiao going to take a little bit of time to become, super strong. And of course, you know, the same can be said for San on Twitch, but he's got to play the Ruin King as well. So his dueling potential is, is quite impressive. We're seeing early Archangels there as well, coming out of going. Feels confident to have it charged up pretty quickly there. 640 out of 750 mana. So yeah, he's well and truly on the way, like you'd expect from Rise after 21 minutes. So now, again, OMG, looks like they're angling towards the blue buff area of World Elite. And Volatile Spiraling coming out, and a Cocoon, the flash out of the dredge line. Troll did not want any of that.
The early pickups of Oracles is pretty strong with this new 3.9 patch where Oracles doesn't go down if you die. It really has gained some of that presence it had in Season 2. It's gotten it back a bit. So the vision denial is certainly something that's coming out, even with pink wards early, but now with Oracles on the field, it's going to be a bit harder for everyone to know what generally is going on.
Oh no, Chow Main's going to get caught here. We saw the glacial path from Cool. We're going to see a lot of damage come straight down on the hole. In fact, wow, all of OMG was actually positioned over towards that blue area. I saw San join him later on, and Chow Mein casually farming halfway up the lane. And 5 players from OMG coming at him. You know, it's funny. That really says a lot about the vision control that OMG have. If, World Elite have no inkling of that sort of, that happening. Xiao Mei caught out. And yeah, OMG thinking about Baron. But look at them. Look at them just sitting here around this corner. You might want to try and make an engagement here, Troll. We do see, all of World Elite are waiting for it as well. Messiah trying to scout that bush out with the ball. Might have spot. Oh, the flash comes in here. They have no time to wait, OMG. I'm going to see Fizz drop as well. The Glacial team comes out on the side. Dredge line as well. Straight on in from Lovelin, and OMG are just going to decimate World Elite right now. They are so far ahead, and this is probably about the time when they start thinking about taking away that Baron. That was obviously, an extended fight, if you count Xiao Mei's kill, but that was a 3 for none for OMG. They're going to take away Baron, and I really don't know at this point. Oh, a little bit of damage going down from the True Shot Barrage, but I really don't know what World Elite can do to stop the freight train that is OMG right now.
Yeah, well, as I was saying, once you've got these things up,
Loveland! Loveland actually died. I think he died to Baron there, but they give it over to Wei Xiao. Big Rally going to get caught up there as well. So World Elite actually managing to turn that one around. This is reminiscent of the way they managed to take the game back against the IG in Stars War Open. Now Wei Xiao taking a bit of damage from San. San's going to walk in as well. Oh, cool! Going to make it happen as well. And going, just using so much AoE damage there as well. So now it is a very, very dirty fight over that Baron. Those 2 kills coming out from OMG, we saw him get softened up by Wei Xiao's True Shot Barrage. Baron, though, still not taken, so World Elite realise that the game is truly over if they can't take that objective. Now they have a bit of momentum. They might be able to get some good damage down on this tower. No, they'll take out this mid-outer turret. So the first tower finally going to come up here for World Elite. They've got minions on the bot tower as well, so they're probably feeling a bit better about that. So maybe a bit risky from OMG, but I could have sworn that they had a serious advantage going into that Baron.
Well, Baron's always known as a trap for young players. It's the throw pit, or whatever you want to call it.
Not even young players. I think TSM threw just this morning in LCS in the same manner. So
yeah, they just don't learn.
All right, Dragon getting taken away here by World Elite. So that's an important way to get himself back in gold. I haven't talked much about gold, but it's 5k is the difference. 3 turrets to 1 in favour, of course, of OMG. And OMG, a little bit suspicious about that one there. They're sort of wondering what went wrong amongst them. Well, they probably know, actually. So now they're looking to, to make it happen a little bit more cleanly. I hear that Oracle get popped on Loveland now. A lot of wall clearing over here near the Baron. Truth be told, OMG could maybe have an attempt here at Baron, and World Elite would be a little bit too slow to respond. They're not anticipating anything major by the looks of things. They've got themselves positioned fairly deep in their own sort of territory here. Fizz going to pop that Oracles as well. Lovely, and just hanging out on the side here. Does see Fizz. Fizz's got to get caught in a death sense. No, just misses as well. We see the dark patches come out as well. There is no way Fizzard is getting out of that one. Troll trying to throw the cocoon in his wall, trying to get damage on. Oh, that shockwave! Oh, that was a 3-person shockwave from Messiah now. Trick Shot Barrage comes through. San does take down Messiah. Troll still got a bit of health though. Pomelo trying to back away there. We see the tomb come straight down on to Xiaomei. Of course, that's standing on. And Troll going to get caught up there as well. Going to try and repel out of that death sentence. World League got to back away very, very quickly, but the flash into Dredge line comes in as well. Wow, everyone trying to escape as soon as they possibly can. It's not going to work though. We see Wei Xiao get dropped there by San. That was only 2 players left on World League now. And that fight, although it might have looked a bit ugly, was pretty good for OMG. That was a 4-for-1. No, 3-for-1 should I say, but 2 players left from World League had maybe 100 to 300 health each. OMG still so far ahead, and they're going to keep pressing the advantage.
And it was beautifully executed by WE, to say the least, with the lease. So, yeah, they had potential there, but just that advantage that OMG already has really, showing its strength here.
Well, OMG now, it's a decisive fight. They got that inhibitor turret in the mid lane as well. There are minions pushing heavily on World Elite's bot in a turret as well. So they're going to be a bit tied up with this for now. Sun obviously took away the red buff. I know he didn't, sorry. I thought he might have, but he's just going to head back there. He just took a route through the jungle. For some reason, he's delaying his recall animation there. We'll see what that's about, but he's going to head home in time. So in terms of items, Jack, let me hear it. What are we looking at here on both teams? What's standing out to us?
Well, I think once Twitch picks up that IE, his team fight potential is just going to skyrocket, and they'll really be looking, and he has just bought it now. So, like, they really, if they pick the good engages and they fight over objectives that WE has to defend against, Twitch is just going to be decimating with his ult spray and pray. So that's probably what they're going to be looking for. They should be looking to regain a bit of vision control here. Ideally, and just kind of pressure WE through lack of knowledge of what's happening. It'll force WE to just really be responsive and just actually have to make the decisions themselves. And that's what OMG wants to do, react to people's positioning.
Okay, so Death Sentence coming out from Thresh here. Of course, we've got the Abyssal Scepter finished alongside the Zhonya's Hourglass for cool, so very defensive sort of itemization there. Baron going to be attempted again from OMG. Good to see the True Shot Barrage come across to scout it out. It has been scouted, and World League are trying to make their way over there now. We do see them coming at speed. I've got my little disconnect bar there. Hopefully that'll be fixed. Oh, wow. Look at the damage going on. Fizz is going to drop very, very soon now. Xiaomei is going to get... That was cool that popped the tomb, though. We're going to see the Shadow Dash on the go going. But that's really not the key point. Oh, great little shockwave there out of Messiah. But still so much health left on OMG. World League already lost 2 players now. Wei Xiao going to drop very, very soon. They're just getting destroyed. Go going is a terror. 10, 1, and 5 at the moment. He is so strong. Seeing a bit of chat happening. Everyone leaving the game here. So that basically means that I'm pretty sure they surrendered it. So that is the game. Game 2 going over to OMG. So it's 1 apiece here in this second semi-final. And I'll tell you what, OMG were a very, very different team to what we saw in the first game, Jack. The first game, it was really slow and paced. World Elite, OMG played World Elite's game and lost it. This time they played their own game, took early turrets, valued objectives, and roamed, as a group here while they were ahead as well. They weren't giving up any objectives to do that. They weren't saying, oh, we'll lose a tower if we can roam as 5 here. They had all their objectives still standing. In fact, they only lost their mid-outer very close towards the end of the game. And I tell you what, Going was just so strong in that rise. So much damage was being spread.
Yeah, it was absurd. He was just both the frontline tank and just where he was in that game was truly disgusting, to be honest. Yeah, it's just too much damage, too much tankiness, and really it wasn't so much just about general damage. It was the survivability that the whole team comp had that allowed them to take those fights consistently.
All right, well, fantastic play from OMG now, making it 1-1. Of course, winner of this one will be going up against Invictus Gaming in the final. Will we see a repeat of Stars War 8 Grand Final with Invictus and OMG? OMG with 2-1 on that one. Or will we see an El Clasico Grand Final for Chinese League of Legends? Will we see World Elite go up against World Elite go up against Invictus Gaming to make it, I guess, their tournament? This is the third game coming up of the second semi-final. The winner of this one will go into the final to win that $18,000, but also, and perhaps more importantly, be crowned the kings of IEM Season 8 Shanghai. We'll find out when you do. We'll be back very, very soon, so don't go too far. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a second.
Dragon. Play jazz.
Playing jazz.
Open my pictures. Post to Facebook.
Updating Facebook.
Professional grade communication tool. The choice of professional teams. Perfect stream viewing experience. Chosen by online streamers. Easy to use voice messenger service. Chosen by over 12 million gamers.
Communication is always vital when competing in tournaments. Winning a match requires perfect coordination. You cannot win by yourself.
Raid call. Communication for winners.